Dun, da, da, da. This is it. No Laugh Track Podcast, episode 500.
Oh my God, this is amazing.
Oh my God. We had to fight through paparazzi to get in here today.
If somebody told me when I started that 19 years into my career, I would be doing episode 500 of this, I would lose my shit.
You would have quit comedy that day?
No, I would have been like, I can't wait to do this, to be episode 500.
That's right. Well, I appreciate that. That is the voice of Adrienne Iapalucci. I am Justin Severson, who has hosted, almost 500 of these. Technically, I had one fill-in guest, which never happened again, but...
Wow.
Yeah, anyway, 500. Here we are, and Adrienne has been on now 4 of these bad boys.
That's true.
Yeah. 2 in 1 year at one point.
Yes, because I did Crash and Burn.
That was the last time. So that would have been the fall of 2021. It's a little less than 2 years ago.
Yes.
Let's go back to that real quick. You did Crash
Sure.
and Burn with 3 other people. It's Tim Slagle's thing. It's where people do...
Yes.
You show up and you have 20 minutes of new material. Or you try to throughout the week, get it better and better and better. Hopefully, that's the idea.
Yes.
Now that it's a year and a half later, how do you look back at Crash and Burn?
You know, it was the best of times. It was the worst of times. No, it was fun. I had a good time. It was nice hanging out with the comics. You get to test out a bunch of new material.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought there were some jokes from it that I actually still do.
Okay,
so that was cool. One of them I forgot, and somebody reminded me of last night. So one of the comics here was like, "Oh, I was here for Crash and Burn. I like this one joke you did," and I was like, "Oh, I should start doing that again." So.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool.
This is really a big weekend for me. So much is happening.
Stop. What's the other thing?
Performing here.
Performing here.
I just got some coffee at one of your little places.
We got plenty of those.
It was such like a little hipstery, cool place, but they're still using plastic straws, which I think is so funny. I don't mind a plastic straw. I actually like them, but it's so funny that a place like that still has them. When they're like, everything is like oat milk and... Do you know what I mean? So it's just so funny to me where they're still using plastic straws.
You're right. I wonder if they do get a person that every once in a while is like, brings it to their attention. Like, you're just saying it to me, like.
I'm just saying it to you
pointing
because
it out.
I actually prefer it because I think it doesn't turn to mush.
Exactly.
I'm surprised a place like that where everyone's wearing fancy little hats and, there's so many rules.
Right.
And you can't even touch the milk. Like, they have to pour the milk.
What?
Right. So a place like that where it's very uppity and, hipstery, I'm surprised they still use good old-fashioned plastic straws.
You know why that is? It's because everyone else except you shows up with their own.
Their own straws?
Yeah, I'm joking, but.
Oh, I was like, is that a thing?
Somewhere it probably is. Have you ever gone somewhere where they give you a straw and it's a noodle? Like a pasta noodle?
No, I've never... Where is that happening?
I was on vacation somewhere a few years ago, and I was given a drink with a hollow pasta noodle. It's not a good substitute.
No, because I would think over time it would also get mushy.
Correct.
And now it's pasta.
Right.
I'm sure people have like gluten allergies, and that's also a problem. There's a problem with everything.
No kidding.
Just open people's mouths and pour stuff in it, so you don't even need straws.
So, Adrienne, before we started
Yes.
recording, I read you a conspiracy thing. Do you want to revisit that?
Sure.
Sure.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
So I can repeat the same stuff.
Well, we'll see. Only me and Brandon will know.
That's true.
That's true. So this is from a guy I grew up with. He tends to post some maybe conspiracy stuff on social media. So I want your opinion on this one.
Let me hear.
I just found out that Kobe Bryant had a court date 3 days after he died. He was suing 3 of the biggest pharmaceutical companies and what they were putting in diet pills. Now that brings up some serious questions. More than a few people have had the cure for cancer and disappeared or wound up dead after revealing it's all about the money. What do you think? Have we lost the cure for cancer? Did we have it and lose it?
I think that person's dead. Now Kobe and this other person are in the afterlife just talking about what they would have done. How many people they would have saved. I'm also curious to know, say that is true, how he got in the diet pill ring. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's what I want to know, because it doesn't seem like something he would be really heavily into.
No, not really.
Unless he does have all daughters, so maybe he thought they would get into it. But they're rich. Rich people don't need to ever do stuff like that.
No, they just pay a surgeon to take care of it.
Yeah, or you could just train all day. You don't have to work. You could have a chef that is able to like prepare stuff for you that's healthier. I don't know. That's my first of all, I think anything is possible. I would think after his whole sexual assault case that he wouldn't want to be back in court, but I could be wrong. Maybe he liked being in court. Who knows?
Interesting.
But it is weird the things that he might have started doing once he retired. He got into that.
I mean,
fighting for diet pills.
you lose your favorite thing or you retire from your favorite thing. You have to have something fill that, right?
I know, but diet pill, like, it just seems such a weird thing to go into.
Diet pills makes me think that episode of Saved by the Bell when Jessie.
Oh, yes, where she starts. Is that the episode where she starts singing "I'm so excited"? No, that's where she couldn't stay up for her exams.
Yes.
Is that the same episode?
I believe so.
Was it diet pills that was keeping her up also?
I think so.
It is like speed.
Yeah.
Me and my friend, we used to do multiple diets like at once, so that's why none of them would work. So we would like do that and Atkins and low fat, but they all just they're all like counteractive. Like you can't mix all of them. So, yeah, if you take that, I remember we would work at this office. We used to take Stacker 2, and once we took it, we would do everything in the entire. Everyone loved when we would take it because we would do everything in the office.
Trucker speed is what they refer to that stuff, right?
It's probably close to Ritalin.
Yeah.
That's why everyone that takes Ritalin is so thin, or Adderall.
And yes, you can concentrate and do everything, is what you're saying, right?
Yeah, there's really no downside unless you die. But that's not even a downside, I guess. I don't know. I would love to know more about this conspiracy theory. Like he came up with it himself, or he found out about it.
I mean, how about the surviving family? There's still he lost his daughter, but then
He lost his daughter.
Wife survived. Is that something to it?
The wife. You think the wife did it?
Oh, I'm not saying anything.
You did say it. You inferred it. I don't know. I don't think she would take out her kid also.
God, no.
You know,
No,
so like
no.
even if she wanted him dead.
Yeah. No.
No, I don't know. That's an interesting thing. I will have to look up this court case that he.
And I have no proof that that even exists whatsoever. Just a post from a guy I grew up with and have an ex.
I know. How did he find out about it?
I have a feeling he's part of some groups and websites that I don't normally visit.
I know, but I'm
imagine.
interested to know what they are.
Yeah.
Could you tell him to become friends with me and send me all these conspiracy theories?
Absolutely.
Well, there's another conspiracy theory where people were saying Sandy Hook never happened.
Yeah.
And it was just like they were posting a clip on, I guess when it happened, that it was just the same thing over like every 10 minutes or something, or every 5 minutes. And that was the thing where people were saying that was fake. So that's like that's a conspiracy theory I guess I heard about.
Yeah, and then Alex Jones got sued for $80 billion.
Yes, that's crazy. That's the type of thing where you're like, sue me, and they're like, I'm suing you for $80 billion or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And you're like, sure, go ahead, try it. And then you're like, what?
Yeah,
How
right.
much is that will he actually pay?
Who knows?
Because
Who knows?
wouldn't he just file bankruptcy and then pay nothing?
You would think so. Along those lines, so, I think almost every time you've been on the podcast with me, because you have some great jokes about it, I've brought up something about R. Kelly.
Oh.
And now he's in prison. He
is in prison.
He got convicted, got like 20, 30 years or something like that.
And they put an album out.
So I was just reading about, along what we were just talking about here, someone has to get those royalties.
I think that.
Have you looked in? Because I looked into it.
Well, I looked up the album. I listened to some of it. Listen, he's still a good artist. It's like still good music. But he had I remember I had a joke about it. Like one song was about, I can't remember it now. About like, people saying stuff about him where they're like, they call me a womanizer. And then they said something about like how I had sex with like young women. And he's like, well, that's just your story or something. I don't remember exactly the lyrics now, but I was like, no, that's actually the law. Like, you fucked kids.
Yeah.
But it's just so crazy how he's like, well, that's just. I heard that in prison, he, I guess someone there had a phone. They made him sing happy birthday to their kid that was home. And my friend and I got into a debate over it because they were like, would you let R. Kelly sing happy birthday to your daughter? And I'm like, sure. I mean, he's in prison. He still has a great voice. I mean, he's still a terrible person. He should be in prison for the rest of his life. But, like, would you let him sing happy birthday to your daughter? He has the voice of God.
For this story, absolutely.
I mean, you're there. It's not like he's going to do something to your kid.
True. In this scenario, is he like on Cameo and I'm paying him $100 for it, or is he just doing it for free?
He's okay. You're in prison with R. Kelly, and you are threatening him that he has to sing "Happy Birthday" to your daughter.
Okay.
That's home. So like, you know that nothing's gonna like. He's clearly in prison. He's not gonna get out.
Yeah.
Do you let her hear the voice of God?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I make him sing it in Spanish also. He's singing in multiple languages. This guy, and the funny thing is, this guy got so offended that me and this other comic were like, "Sure, I would. Why not?"
Yeah.
But he was so mad. And this is a guy that doesn't even like pay child support. So it was just crazy how he's upset about that thing, but not the other thing.
I got a kid at home with my current and child support with 2 kids, so yeah, I can relate to all this.
See?
Yeah.
Weren't you buying a house last time I was here?
I moved. I wish I was buying a house. I went from renting one to renting another, and I'm still in that one, actually.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We could get back to the conspiracy theory if you want. Sorry. I am interested to know more about that, though. I'm going to look it up.
Yeah. I don't know anything more than that, but it's out there, I guess. So last week, Andy Erickson was here. The week before, Erica Rhodes was here. 2 female comedians in a row, now 3. Those last 2 were recording albums. Are we going to have 3 albums in a row recording this week?
I'm not recording an album right now. I'm taping a special in November.
Oh, you have it planned already?
Yes.
Excellent.
So I am not going to be releasing an album right now, taping an album. But I do love this club. I feel like if I was going to like do something at a club and tape at a club, I would do it here.
Awesome.
This club is great.
Do you have plans for where you're going to be doing it in November?
You're
not going to say.
I'm not 100% sure. That's why I don't want to say it, but I do have something that I'm like talking to about it. So
awesome.
Hopefully that will happen.
Okay. Let's see. So the last, since I've talked to you last, you had a huge thing happen, and I watched you open for Louis at Madison Square Garden live.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was really cool.
It was very cool, and I only got to do it because somebody canceled. Somebody canceled to do another theater show or something, so that's how I got to open for him.
Are you saying who that is?
No, I don't think that's helpful.
Okay.
It doesn't do anything for them. But yeah, it was like I found out that week.
I was just going to say, how much notice did you have?
Not much. I found that on a Tuesday because I was supposed to be in Austin that weekend.
You had to cancel gigs?
Yeah, because he had written to me and was like, "What are you doing on Saturday?" And I was like, "Are you going to ask me to open for you at Madison Square Garden?" And he was like, "No." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And he was like, "I'm going to demand it or something," which I thought was funny. But I was like, "Oh my God, this is so nerve-wracking." But it was really cool. I mean, I had been on tour with him almost all last year. Like, we went to Australia and all. I was away for 6 weeks straight in like Europe. We were supposed to go to Ukraine the day that Ukraine got bombed.
So I remember I was reading about that online at the time. Like, Louis got these dates, and you were there with him there too, huh?
We didn't go. We went to Amsterdam instead, but we were supposed to go. And it was just funny reading people being like, "Louis in Ukraine." I'm like, I'm with him. We're not there. This is like a crazy story to run.
Isn't that funny?
But yeah. So I was on tour with him a lot last year, so it was cool to be able to do the Garden with him because I've seen him work out that hour a lot.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool.
When you were on that tour with him, how long do you do? How long is your set?
I'd say about 15 minutes.
15. And what did you do at Madison Square Garden?
I came out to like 12, I think.
12.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it wasn't that long.
Yeah.
But it's still really cool.
Did you, what was it like being inside, like the pre-show? Like you're waiting in like the Knicks locker room?
I don't think it's the Knicks locker room. I think it's just another room. I don't think they put you in the Knicks locker room. So you do sound check, and we were on stage for so long that you actually kind of get comfortable being there. It's a weird thing because it's huge, and there's no way to really prepare for that. But we were on stage for a long time doing sound check. So I feel like doing that just helped me get a little bit more comfortable. And then kind of when you're there, you can't really look at anyone either because it's so big, it's dark. You're basically, I almost look at nobody ever. So that's kind of what I did. I just like looked straight ahead because there's 4 cameras. Because I asked him, I was like, I don't move around on stage a lot. This is going to be weird, especially people are all around me. And he was just like, there's 4 cameras and you just look at the one that when it's red, and then after you do like a bit, you just turn. So I just kind of rotated like a clock. But I don't know. You also just kind of go into overdrive too, I think, once you're on stage and there's that many people. So
Have you watched that back?
I've not watched the whole thing. I do have it. I've watched like a clip or two. Actually, one clip I've watched. I hate watching myself on anything,
Okay.
but it was very cool. It's definitely a highlight of my career.
Has to be. The biggest crowd you'd worked in front of before that was what? Probably
With him for like 6,000 people.
6,000, and then triple that probably.
Yeah, that was 18,000. Then there were people also live streaming it. So
Like me? I
yeah,
paid the money.
There's a lot of people that live streamed it or even just bought it and then watched it at another time.
Yeah.
What's really cool is a lot of people from the shows that follow me, a lot of them come out to the shows. So, because I do think that is like an ideal audience for me. You know, smarter people that are not, you know, I don't know. I think his audience is pretty diverse in a way. Like politically, I think they're all over the board, but
See that?
they're just kind of there to have fun and they're not like offended by everything. And I don't know. I love his audience. It's really good.
Yeah.
Ari also has a really good audience. Shafir, like I love performing with him.
Right.
So it's just like people like that, I guess.
And then you tour when you were out with Louis. Mike Early was out with
Yes.
you, right? And now he's featuring
He
this week
is.
at Acme for
Yeah, I
you.
asked him if he wanted to do it. We had so much fun. We went to Australia together, Australia, New Zealand, and Hawaii. So we had a lot of fun. He's just a really funny guy too.
Yeah, he's great. Yeah.
Yeah, so I like him a lot.
He's great. Remind me, he's sober. Are you sober?
Pretty much.
Pretty
I
much?
shouldn't drink. I just have an addictive personality, so I try not to drink. But yeah, I'm not currently drinking.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, he.
That wasn't vodka on stage last night?
No. I think when I started, I maybe got drunk or tipsy once or twice doing comedy because I just knew it would be a crutch.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'd rather just deal with being uncomfortable now than like being drunk and not really being able to ever get comfortable on stage. So yeah, I don't know. Some people go on stage wrecked and I'm just like, how do you remember stuff? Or high.
I guess maybe that's the trick. I don't know.
Or even
you don't want to
super
remember.
high, yeah.
Yeah, no thanks. So this is the 500th episode of this podcast today, and there is not one I remember where I didn't have at least a little bit of anxiety or like nervous. Like every time I record this that day,
I can see that.
I feel a little bit of I just want it to go so well. Like it doesn't matter how. I don't think that'll ever go away.
It may not, but that's also good, I think. People say like to have a little bit of nerves when you do stuff.
So do you have that? Like a Wednesday show at Acme versus doing Madison Square Garden with Louis C.K.
I mean, I was nervous all week. I was like, that's just, it's a much bigger scale to fail.
Yeah, yeah.
If I fail here, it's like, what, how many people are going to see it?
Well, we'll tell everybody. Though.
But even that, it still won't be as many people, I don't think, as bombing at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
But yeah, of course I was nervous. And John Fish also opened.
Yeah.
He's very funny. And like we were both really nervous. And it was nice to have like a friend there that I could kind of talk to. Because there really is no way to prepare for it. And it's just like, we're doing this.
Uh-huh.
And we're going to see how it goes.
Uh-huh.
But it was fun.
That's amazing. What and then he's taking the rest of the year off, right? So there's
He's taking the
no
rest of the
touring
year
with Louis
off.
right now.
Nope. He's just enjoying life.
Yeah, right on. Do you have a lot booked the rest of the year?
I'm touring a bit, yeah, to like just prepare for this taping. So that's good.
Awesome. Awesome. So I used to live in the Bronx, correct?
I still live in the Bronx, yeah. I thought you said you used to live in the Bronx. I was like, really?
Sorry, I talking fast there. You still live in the Bronx, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I did
I
a
do.
thing. I searched 500, the number 500, as in 500 episodes on Google, and I put that with Bronx just to see what kind of story would come up.
What do you mean? Oh.
500
I would
based on my
ass-
500th episode, and Bronx because that's where you're from, just to see what kind of story would pop up.
Is it like 500 sex offenders in the Bronx? That is what I would think of. Is it
Interesting.
close?
See, this is perfect that I did this because you have a great guess. That is incorrect.
It's incorrect. Okay.
But that is a very good one. It is. There's two that it came up, and I'm going to tell you about. First one is Mayor Eric Adams, NYPD to give out 500 blank in new approach to fight car thefts.
500.
Do you know what they're giving out to fight car thieves in New York City?
I hope it's a gun. That seems like really the only way to stop a car thief is to shoot them. Or to be like, get away from my car, I'm going to shoot you in the face.
The NYPD is turning to a new piece of technology to stop car thefts in the Bronx. Police are giving out free Apple AirTags.
What is that?
That's like a little, like a GPS thing. Like if I slipped one in your pocket and you left here, I could follow where you go all for the rest of the day. So people are putting in their cars, so that if your car gets stolen, you can track it on your phone.
I imagine a lot of people would not want to know where their car is so they could just get the insurance money. That's what I would assume.
Interesting.
Like if I was offered that, I would decline.
So we have an Apple AirTag that we put in my 3-year-old's like the bag we carry. Well, I guess it was a diaper bag, but a bag we carry around when we go out there. And it's registered to my wife's phone. And when it's out with us, I will get a notification saying that Apple AirTag has been detected in your area. It's also to like block from what I just said. I can't, secretly put one in your pocket. So if you have an Apple phone, it's then going to tell you, hey, you're
even
near
if
an
I
Apple
don't have that app.
Even if you don't have the app, yeah, because I don't have the app. Yeah, I don't know if there is.
Maybe I will put one in my car.
See, do you have an Apple phone?
I do.
See, so there you go. Well, maybe you can hit up the mayor and get a free one.
I'll be like, I still think you should be giving guns out.
Well,
everybody, I mean, from what I hear, everybody hates him.
Well, it's very interesting that you said that they should give out guns, because the other story that I saw about 500 in the Bronx is organizers of a gun buyback event in the Bronx are trying to make our streets safer.
Oh, yeah, you get $1,000 if you give back a gun.
Yes, I think this was actually last weekend. Assault rifles and ghost guns can be traded for a $500 gift card, handguns for $150, rifles and shotguns for $75. Non-working, replica, antique, homemade, or 3D printed guns can be traded for a $25 gift card.
Wow. I know that it's $1,000 because I had a joke about in like New York City, they have those, like you ever see bulletins that say like $10,000 cop shot? Did you ever see that? So it's like, if you give information leading up to the arrest of somebody that shot a cop, you get $10,000. So my joke was I was going to shoot a cop and then turn in the gun and get $11,000 and let it sit in an account and accrue interest until I got out of prison. That was my joke. So that's why I know that.
Maybe in the back of my mind I remember that and tied that in with you. I'm not sure.
I have not done that joke on stage in so long. I don't think so.
Oh my goodness,
we might just be kindred spirits, and you read my mind.
Thank you. I'll go with that. I'll absolutely go with that. Let's see here. What are some other things I want to talk to you about? How are you using social media these days? I know, like I'm my TikTok use was 0, then it was here, and now I'm back down to like here.
How much you're using it?
Yeah.
I think, unfortunately, I have to be on it for comedy, and then I just stay on it, and I'm looking at videos for hours. And then I'm not going to sleep till 4 a.m. So, unfortunately, it starts out because of comedy, and then I'm just on there for so long. I mean, I follow so many, like, animal groups, like horses, like just, like, rehabs for so many of these animals, and dog groups, and rescues. So I just see a lot of that on there too. And then there's also a lot of women shaking their ass. So it's just, those are the two things I'm being targeted at.
You two are getting the women shaking their ass.
I think they're trying to apply it to everybody. And at some point I was just like, hey, this isn't for me. So I stopped getting them.
That's what I told my wife as well. Is that it wasn't my fault.
Well, it's like, I also will, I'll look at a couple of them, but it's like, I don't want to see tons of ass shaking videos. It just, I don't think it has the same effect for me as it might for you. So that's why I'm like, all right, I'll pass by one or there's so many of them. And then I saw in the comments one time, someone's like, why are these being sent to me? And they're like, can I shut this off? And then someone told them. And then since I did that, I really don't get them. I'm just getting a lot of like vacation ideas and a lot of animals and comedy stuff. So yeah, I'll be on there a lot. I'm not on TikTok.
You're not on.
Just Instagram.
Okay. Fair enough. Let's see. What else was I going to ask you about? But last night I was here. The show was awesome. I guess I haven't even said that yet, have I? The show was fantastic last night.
No.
Joey Hamburger was
Joey
who
Hamburger.
I found out I didn't know moved to New York, so it was like an all New York
Yes.
lineup basically.
Well, let's not say that. They're still from here. I am from New York City. I am the garbage that was made there. They are from this place.
True. Oh yeah. How dare I? You're right. You're absolutely right.
How dare you?
How dare I, in your presence, to say
In my
that.
presence.
I completely take that back. I completely took it.
But yes, they both moved to New York now.
Yeah, show was super fun last night. I was anticipating, so I of course kept track because I've seen people walk out in the
Sure.
Adrienne Iapalucci show here at Acme.
That is what I try and do every show.
Yeah.
At least walk a couple of people.
I don't know that I saw it happen last night.
No, I don't think so. One lady did trip. She tripped over. Did you see the lady that tripped?
I sure did.
And then I liked her too. She was very nice the whole time. What I have noticed is people who are older at the shows enjoying me, which I really love. Because I always think that, older people are going to be like maybe a little stiffer, but like she was just so into the show. And then she got up to go use the bathroom and she tripped. And the guy she was with didn't go to help her. Like he turned around and saw it and then just turned back around. I'm like, why wouldn't you help her? And he got really mad at me.
Did he give you
He got very upset with me because he was upset that I made it a thing, I guess, where I was like, you didn't even help her up.
I mean,
And he did
we
it.
all said it. I mean, you were in the middle of a joke. It stopped the show for a second.
I know, because I was like, I felt bad for her because I liked her. If I didn't like her, I might not have cared as much, but I did. And then this guy saw it and then just turned right back around.
Yeah. And then eventually he got up and left.
He did, but he made a face. He was very mad that I mentioned that because he knew it was going to be a thing then, which good for them because fuck him. But I said to him, are you guys married? And he said no. And then I heard that lady was in the bathroom crying. So I don't know why she was crying.
Oh, no.
Hopefully it gave her the push to leave this guy.
I think your words were "don't f him" tonight.
Oh, that's right. Don't fuck him tonight. Yes. Maybe that's why he was upset. But fuck him anyway. I love that you wrote that down. You're like, I'm going to talk about this on the podcast.
Yeah, right. Right here. Woman fell. And then I wrote stars next to it. Mm-hmm.
Stars next to yeah. So then people told me after the show she was in the bathroom crying. And I hope it was not because she fell and it was because she realized that this guy's a dick.
Oh, yeah, I think I saw her walk back in at some point. She seemed fine. She was...
Oh, did she? People
Yeah.
said she was in the bathroom crying.
The
didn't
last couple minutes I saw her in the back of the show, I think, and she seemed
I
all
didn't see
right.
her come to the front, though.
But there was also there was a woman sitting close to the stage here. She got up and left for a while, and I was like, "Oh, we got one." But she ended up coming back, and I even wrote down what part of what joke was she on, so I could bring that up.
That's so funny that you're so fascinated by it. There was a woman sitting right here, and I thought she might walk at some point.
I heard yes.
Because she was looking at me, and she wasn't having a bad time, and she wasn't having a good time. She almost looked catatonic, where I didn't know if anything was going on in her head.
Oh no!
So she just had to look up, like she was looking at me like this. And it wasn't bad or good. It was just nothing. So I thought I might lose her at some point. Sometimes it'll happen where like a guy will bring a girl to the show and she's not having fun, but the guy is.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you should have just brought another guy with you. Why'd you bring this chick? But sometimes they're into it. But like I could tell it was not her idea to come.
Sure.
I think the last time I was here, yes, not Crash and Burn, but before that, a guy sat right up front, an older guy where I was like, I don't think this guy's going to be into my comedy. He came by himself. He had like a sports team shirt on, whereas like, this guy's not my audience. He had the same look like her. He wasn't upset. He wasn't enjoying it. And then when I left the show after, he came up to me and he took out this big piece of paper and he's like, I think we're related. He drew out a whole family tree. And it was huge. It was like, when you were in school, you do those projects. It was like a big piece of paper like that. And then he was just telling me how we were related. And I didn't have the heart to tell him that, like, my dad adopted me and my last name I'm not really blood related to this guy. So once he left, I just threw it in the trash. But it was just interesting that he spent so much time and made a point to come here. And I just threw it right out. And I was at another show, and another lady in the audience came, and she thought we were also related. So I don't know why comedy's getting people. Also, just write to me at a show to announce that is so weird. Like, he didn't announce it, he waited, but she did. during my set where I was in Baltimore, and then she left after. So I thought it was very strange.
Have you got any real distant family members introducing themselves? They're all fake.
This guy might have been. There's a lot of Iapaluccis here. And I know that because one time I had a prescription filled here. I went to pick it up and they're like, your insurance covered it. And I'm like, I don't have insurance here. And they're like, oh, there's another Adrienne Iapalucci here.
What?
Yes. And then I wrote to so I wrote to a guy on Instagram or Facebook thinking he was from here because I thought it said Minneapolis. Anyway, I wrote to him to tell him that. And he's like, no, I'm not from there. And he's a lawyer. And then he lives in Wilmington, and I was there last week, and he came to my show. It's just, and then when I checked in yesterday to the hotel, there's another Iapalucci here. So there must be people that are Iapaluccis here.
You're the only one I've ever met.
I know, but they're out there. There's a lot of them here, I think.
Crazy.
I know.
Crazy. Well, hopefully you get to meet one that you didn't know about that, like, is about to leave you millions of dollars or something. That would be the best,
that's the
right?
only way I want to meet someone.
The only way.
That's the only way I want to meet somebody. Also, don't come to my comedy show, please. And don't sit in the front and, like, make no faces. I don't know how that guy expected that to go. But he was so proud. He had this whole family tree just, like, I don't know, so crazy. And then as soon as he left, I just threw it right in the trash. And part of me hopes he saw it. And he's just so mad that he wasted time. But he's old. He probably has not much to do.
What if he builds something like that for all the comedians that come here?
If he does that for everyone, if that's his thing,
Yeah.
then that's his thing, I'm glad I didn't entertain it for long. Like it was just like what am I supposed to even say to that? Like, hey, can I come over for Christmas? It's such a weird thing. I don't know what I'm supposed to do.
How about all the birthdays you missed, man?
Yeah, like, I don't know. But so that was the first time, and then Baltimore was the second time, where it's just weird. I think people are going on Ancestry.com or whatever. And that's how they're finding out who potential family is.
Bizarre.
Yeah.
Bizarre. And then on the flip side of that is I bought that kit from my dad, and he won't put it public because he doesn't want to accidentally find family members.
Ah. Or he wants to kill people. That's another way they're finding people, too, is like people are sending in that sample and it's like related to like a killer or
sure,
something.
they're connecting it, yeah.
Yeah. It's another reason not to kill people.
Do you think my dad's a criminal?
No.
Okay.
But I'm fascinated by like crazy people. So it depends what kind of criminal. What is he doing? Is he ripping off unemployment? Then no. But if he's like some crazy weirdo, then yeah, I would love to meet like a crazy person.
Well, keep doing comedy though. They're
But
around.
I don't mean crazy like that. I mean crazy people that are like, think like, the Son of Sam where he thought a dog was telling him to kill someone.
Yeah, sure. Yep. The dog told me.
Yeah.
I saw a video this morning. I don't know what induced this, but it was a guy that was basically making out with a tree.
I mean, that's harmless.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. If I knew him, I'd introduce you, but it was just online.
I mean, how long do you make out with a tree for?
The video only had it for about 10 seconds. And then when he was done, he even like went like that and wiped his lip.
Gross.
Yes.
That's so gross.
I don't know if the tree kissed back. I'm not sure.
I remember when I was like 20 or 19, maybe 18, I had a boyfriend and we got into a fight about something. And I forget what it was now. I think I told him I didn't believe he loved me, and then he just punched a tree until his hands bled. I was like, well, I guess you do now. Like, what a weird thing. I mean, he just full on punched a tree.
That wasn't probably the first example of his anger issues, I'm imagining.
He wasn't really an angry person. No, I've had some angry boyfriends, but he wasn't one of them. That he would just love me so much that he wanted to punch a tree until his fist bled.
I love you! I fucking love you!
That tree guy's weird because it's going to graduate to like rubbing his dick all over the tree.
That might have been going on too. Like his one arm was around it too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it was kind of a almost dry hump.
Gross.
I know. And it wasn't even his own tree. It was someone's ring camera. Like,
Oh, catching it.
yes.
Gross.
Right. Well, it was in Minneapolis too.
That's not that shocking.
Welcome to Minneapolis. Is there anything we should be mentioning? I really thank you for coming and doing episode 500 with me.
I know, this is monumental.
It is monumental.
I will remember this for all of my days.
Sure you will. Ditto. The day we're recording this is May the 4th, and some people say that that's
Cinco
a
de
Star...
Mayo, right?
And Cinco de Mayo's this weekend, and some people say that May the 4th. May the 4th be with you is a Star Wars thing.
Oh, yes, that dumb thing.
That
yes.
dumb thing.
That's
I agree. I'm a lifelong Star Wars guy, and I think the May the 4th thing is stupid.
It's pretty dumb.
Yeah.
That's why now it makes sense why I'm getting those dumb pictures.
Yes. Yep.
I'm just like, oh, okay.
They're dumb. I guess that's about it. People, I have to come see you this weekend at Acme. Follow you on the social medias you actually use. Instagram.
I feel like I'm being shadow banned on Twitter. So fuck Twitter.
I have one more thing I want to ask you about that we talked about in the past. That you would fuck with people on dating sites.
Yes.
You haven't done that. Are you still doing it and I'm not seeing it?
No. For a while, I was like banking them because I wanted to do a book, and then I just stopped doing it. So I don't know. I seem to get the most positive response from that.
Yeah.
Even though I was saying the same awful stuff in my stand-up, people get more offended in stand-up than if I'm doing this to another person. Then they think it's great.
Isn't that amazing?
Mm-hmm. It is.
So I had to dig for it. Your Instagram that did that still exists.
Yes.
It's okay stupid.
Okay, stupid, yeah.
Yeah.
They were pretty fun.
They are hilarious.
One time I got through a whole Biggie song without somebody realizing it. I did the 10 Crack Commandments, and I just...
Come on.
I got through all of it, and I was like, so do you want to move this stuff for me? And he's like, I don't know. But it was just funny how he let me go through the 10 Crack Commandments without knowing it, which is maybe my favorite one.
That is the best.
One time, a guy said he was a rapper. He was going to send me some of his rap lyrics, and I told him my email address was OJ Simpson killed Nicole Brown @gmail.com. So like stuff like that where guys just want to fuck, they don't really care.
Yes.
And he said he sent it to me, and then I just made up a story about what I thought his lyrics were, and he just said, yes, that's what it is. Because, I mean, it was so crazy what I said, too. And he was like, yep, that's exactly what I meant. So nuts.
You gotta do it again.
I know, I should. I think that's what I was put on this earth for.
That shit is gold.
I might have to start it again. I might need a new account, though. I burned through a bunch of them.
There's unlimited emails out there.
That's true. There are unlimited emails. And people would give them to me, too, because they're, like, married or whatever.
Yeah, right.
Maybe that's what it'll do. It'll ignite my love for it again.
Yes, you really should. All right, well, this has been great. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thanks for having me.
Let's do it again in a year or less.
Okay.
Thank you so much for listening to No Laugh Track Podcast, the show with a new comedian headliner every single week with me, the host, Justin Severson. The show is produced in the heart of Minneapolis' North Loop neighborhood at the legendary Acme Comedy Club. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Podbean, and watch the video version on our official No Laugh Track YouTube channel. Wherever you are enjoying the pod, remember, drop a like, leave a review, and please tell your friends about the show. And most importantly, come to Acme and see my show in person.